What is up, fight fans? Glove Talk, episode 6, re-recorded. We got it done for y'all.
Yep.
I'm here with my boy Jose.
Yes, sir. We're here. Getting through all the technical difficulties, but hey, we do it for you guys. It's what we love doing, and we're glad to do it again.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about. First of all, we got to talk about Bellator. We got to talk about Usman Nurmagomedov versus Benson Henderson. Usman getting a submission win over Benson Henderson.
Benson
He landed
Henderson.
that nice kick too. That
Yeah,
nice head kick.
Benson Henderson retiring after the fight. Benson Henderson, legend in the fight game. Honestly, one of the greatest lightweights of all time, in my opinion. He he was amazing in his prime. Guy fought with a toothpick in his mouth. That's how crazy he was. But sad to see him go. 39 years old. I didn't think he was that old, but yeah, Usman did a great job against him last night. That choke was not. Usman looks like the real deal, man. He really does.
Yeah, and this Bellator lightweight Grand Prix is probably the most exciting thing going on in lightweight MMA right now. I think Bellator is the only like AJ McKee, Usman are actually might be
Pitbull.
the actual best lightweights in the world.
Yeah. You got Pitbull fighting there too. Pitbull, Fury. Yeah, man. Then they got the bantamweight tournament going on too. I think Bellator's got some really exciting stuff with their top stars, and I think a fight against Benson Henderson. Like, yeah, Benson Henderson's 39, but he's crafty. He's still very good, and for Usman to do it the way he did, is a good win. Listen, Benson. Yeah, and Benson Henderson, man, thank you for everything. Your career, wish you the best. Guy was honestly a legend. He was one of my first favorite fighters I had watching MMA. Really, a real pioneer of the leg kicks. He was one of the first guys to really throw leg kicks in fights. Had those tree trunk legs. I remember the Anthony Pettis title fight, Gilbert Melendez fight. Guy, if you've never seen Benson Henderson fight in his prime, go back and look at the tapes. The guy was definitely a legend. So good card.
What fight do you recommend people go back and watch?
Gilbert Melendez fight for sure, because then he proposed after the fight and he got booed by the crowd in Cali because he beat their Cali boy Gilbert Melendez. And then a fight he lost, but I still would watch the Anthony Pettis fight because it shows how good Anthony Pettis was locking up the submission. And the first Anthony Pettis fight with the Showtime kick. People think he got knocked out with a Showtime kick, but he actually survived that and beat Anthony Pettis in that fight. So, yeah.
And then we had that up on our page, a video of Michael Venom Page with his knee kick he got. His shin ended up making the guy's kneecap rip off. It was kind of nasty.
I've never seen a guy's kneecap do that ever. That was
especially against his chin. It's weird. You would think like your knees and your elbows are like the most strongest points, but things happen like that in MMA. Michael Venom Page, a guy that I need to see in the UFC, man. I need to see this guy. I need to see this guy bang with the best of them in the UFC. He's exciting.
And the best part of Michael Venom Page is if he did come to the UFC, he really is a horrible matchup for anybody right now. Like, Michael Venom Page is so good, man. It's just one of those good. Again, I've said it. One of those guys where if he doesn't come to the UFC, you kind of look back on what could have been. Like, what if we didn't get that guy here? Like, it's kind of like Michael Chandler. They eventually got Michael Chandler over at Eddie Alvarez. I think Michael Venom Page, AJ McKee, those are the two guys that the UFC needs to fight the most to get over. And Nemkov.
And I literally had that. I literally had that in the back of my head. I was like, AJ McKee and Michael Venom Page are the two guys at the UFC that I want to get the most. But AJ McKee signing that deal. I don't know what Michael Venom Page's deal's like. I know he just did bare knuckles, so I don't know how serious they are about him over there at Bellator. But I don't know. I want him at the UFC.
I think Vadim Nemkov's another one, the light heavyweight champ. I think if Yuri beats Jamal, they need to do a Yuri versus Nemkov fight. Because Nemkov, in my opinion, is the best light heavyweight in the world. So it's just Bellator's got good talent. They just need to keep building out the rest of the roster. But good on them, man. They got nice top heavy talent. Good tournaments going on right now. Definitely solid number 2 for the against the UFC.
Then so we're gonna get to the fights that happened last night. Fight Night, Jan versus Dvalishvili. We're gonna start off in the early prelims. We had Carlson Harris versus Jared Gooden. Jared Gooden, I think, fought the fight kind of like just trying to survive. You could see he had a bad round 2, and he didn't really come out in round 3 trying to capitalize and get a finish. He looked like he was just trying to survive the fight.
Yeah, and Carlson Harris, man, with some slick wrestling, slick grappling as well. You could tell he's well coached. He was listening to his coaches very well and doing what they were telling him to do. He got in really good position, especially round two. And I think for Carlson Harris, coming off, the moment he's most known for is, getting killed by Shavkat Rakhmonov. So he needed a win like this. He looked very good. I think Jared Gooden, listen, super athletic. You can tell there's talent there. You just got to piece it together, man. He looked defeated by the end of round one. Just did not seem like his head was there the rest of the fight. Just fighting to survive. The cardio became an issue at the end, too. It's just, you can't have that happen, man.
Yeah. And then the next fight we have performance of the night to Bruno Silva for his he had to hit the front kick on Tyson Nam and then finished him off with submission. Bruno Silva training with Henry Cejudo and Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, and Bruno Silva choked him out cold, man. That was nice. The way he choked him out cold, and then Tyson Nam's kind of like, yeah, I mean, the front kick was beautiful. Bruno Silva coming off a 2-year layoff did not look like it. Maybe for 30 seconds. He did look a little rusty for 30 seconds, and then just looked like he had been in there for so long. Like, he fought really well. His striking was on point, which set up his grappling, which set up that submission. It was a perfect fight for him. And I think for him, it kind of, in a flyweight division that's kind of thin on talent, I think it definitely pushes his name on, okay, he beat a ranked guy in number 15, Tyson Nam, but you could push for him to fight a number 7, 6 guy right now. So
yeah, I think he's on the list for me of one of the top flyweights coming up. He impressed me this fight. Tyson Nam kind of had that smirky face the whole time, and he wiped that shit from his face. So I like Bruno Silva. This fight actually made him seem like a contender to me. So
yeah,
a future contender at least. So then we had my baby mama Ariane Lipski against JJ Aldrich.
Great fight. Great fight from Ariane Lipski. I wish she would have attacked the finish more. That's my only knock on her. But if you're looking in terms of points fighting, she got the win. She did what she had to do. She had really good striking, really good aggression. I think JJ Aldrich just looked very uncomfortable. She was looking for takedowns in the worst kind of spots the whole fight. And I think that's
kind of she was waiting for the takedowns to like just fall in her hands versus going and putting pressure and attacking the single leg. Seemed like she was kind of just waiting for her to get in the right position against, or like Ariane Lipski get too aggressive and end up in a bad position. But Ariane, she wasn't really, she was aggressive, but she wasn't putting herself out of position too much with her strikes. I would say her defense when she throws her hooks needs to tighten up a little bit. But
yeah,
training with Amanda Nunes, getting that fine tuning in the smaller gym, I think that would be good for her.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And you listen, Ariane Lipski, it's not like she's fought trash cans. Like, she lost to Shevchenko. She lost to I think it was Carolina. She's fought very good fighters in the UFC. So like, you look at her record, like, some people think it's underwhelming, but ever since she's gotten to the UFC, she's fought top level girls in the division. And she lost Montana De La Rosa, Anthony Shevchenko, and Cachoeira. That was the one that she lost. It was Cachoeira. And I think for her, it's like there's flashes where she shows the talents that's there. She's got to put it all together. Simple as that.
You got to be a true martial artist. You got to put all of it together, which I think she will. I think you give her that was a top 15 fight, wasn't it?
I don't think Aldrich was ranked coming into this fight.
Okay. And then we had next fight, Victor Henry versus Tony Gravely. Another guy. Tony Gravely is another guy I thought was just trying to survive the fight. It seemed like Victor Henry put winning the fight with his pace and his striking. So I like Victor Henry. I like his fighting style.
Yeah, I like Victor Henry, man. But he was very blunt at the end of the fight, where he was disappointed because he felt like he should have finished the fight. And I think so too. I think round 2 definitely should have finished the fight. I think Gravely, his cardio was gone, but he was still there was moments he could have won the fight in the third round. He got Henry in some pretty bad positions. And I think, Victor Henry looked very good, but when you slip up and almost let a guy come back and win, that's not a good look either,
Yeah.
So all credit to Gravely. I think there's a good fighter in there somewhere. There is. It's just he's got to piece it together. The cardio really destroyed him at the end of the fight because Henry was just pressuring. And I get it. Some guy, you don't want to go in guns blazing. You want to kind of take it slow and figure out like what you're gonna do. But
yeah,
if a guy's pressuring you already, you got to learn how to react. And I think Tony Gravely just took way too long to react. And his corner kept telling him that. And so, yeah, Victor Henry, man, listen, at 35, doesn't look 35 when he fights. I will say that much. So, yeah.
I say he looks like he's like 28, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony Gravely, I always remember him as the guy with the redhead wife he always brings to corner him. That always watches him take the L. So I don't know, man. These fighters bring in their wives, especially when they're not like top tier guys. Like,
Hey,
you just
Ariane
know.
Lipsky had her husband in the corner, man. So, I mean.
I wasn't in the corner, bro. What?
Oh, my God. No, hey, the bald dude that looks like he's 40-something. That's Ariane Lipsky's husband. The
And then
more you know.
we had
The more you know.
Cedricus Dumas versus Josh Frem. Josh Frem getting that submission win. Josh Frem showing that he's not scared to fight a guy who is one dimensional striking and just a powerhouse. And Cedricus, I think his fighting style is a little awkward. It's a little weird, and he doesn't really throw volume. He doesn't really throw his jab. He really throws the right hand straight a lot, and his grappling is subpar as well. So Josh tagged his leg and took him down and submitted him.
Yeah, I mean, when Cedricus Dumas came to the cage, and R.I.P. J.D. Youngin, but I thought it was J.D. Youngin coming to the octagon, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Boot gang.
We like Boot
Thought
Gang,
he
we
was
like Rich the Kid, bro. And like, listen, athletically, he's long. He's got all the gifts. It's just fighting flat-footed, like you said. A lot of straight rights, not really good grappling. And Daniel Cormier alluded to this, where it's like if you train at a gym that small and you're the best fighter of the gym, are you really getting challenged? And I think that's something for Cedricus Dumas where he might need. Listen, they could build something out of him. He's 27 years old. He's super long. He had his moments with his striking. It's just he needs better coaching and better training partners. But Josh Frem, man, shout out to him. He was able to win the battles on the feet. He was able to take control on the ground, stay composed. And that guillotine was very quick finish. I think Josh Frem, this was a good performance for him. Definitely puts him on a lot of people's radar after this. Cedricus Dumas probably spars with guys that are smaller than him. Doesn't really get challenged. Doesn't really fight guys at his weight class, at his height. Look at guys like Joaquin Buckley, who went to Extreme Couture to, with Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis, all those guys. Like, that's a gym with really big guys, which is actually something that Daniel Cormier talked about. Extreme Couture having big guys and Sean Strickland bringing people to train there. I think Cedricus Dumas, if he wants to have a long career in mixed martial arts, definitely has to go to a gym with guys his own weight class and his own height. That's the only way he's going to get better, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then we had a Sun Sao retiring after he had a good position. He got hurt, and then he had Davy Grant's back, and then the ref took Davy Grant a point away from Davy Grant because he grabbed the cage and he had him stand back up, and then Davy Grant, balls to the wall. Round 3. He was down 2 rounds, chased the finish, and he got the finish with a nasty. What was a rear?
Spinning, so first it was the spinning back fist, then it was the inverted triangle.
Yeah.
That inverted triangle he put him out in like 5 seconds too. That squeeze was, jeez, man.
Nasty.
Yeah, and I think if USADA is drug testing fighters, I think they need to start drug testing referees. Because for the ref to say afterwards that Davy Grant got a favorable position from grabbing the fence. Were they watching the same fight we were? Sun Sao had his back. Davy Grant's trying to grab the fence to get up, and they stopped the fight. Sun Sao still has his back. So why would you why would you stand him up? Why won't you put him? And Eric Nixick, the Sun Sao's coach, had a fit after the fight about it with the ref, and I don't blame him. I'm not saying that's necessarily what lost Sun Sao the fight, because he still had to get up and fight out the rest of the fight regardless. But it definitely, I think, compromised Sun Sao being able to win that fight. I think he was up 2 rounds. I think he probably would have gotten the win from that position. But that's the fight game, man.
Sometimes. And no discredit to Davy Grant. He still had to go out there and chase that finish to get the win, and he did that. So yeah. And then we had Carl Williams, a guy coming off Dana White's Contender Series, beating an Olympic wrestler, and he's fighting Lucas Brzeski, and he got the decision win. His wrestling did it for him, I think, in this fight. I do think he needs to improve his hands a little bit. But he's a dominant grappler, so wrestler. So
Yeah, I think with Carl Williams, man, like he had very good moments in that fight. I think Bresky just looked overmatched. He was getting taken down. He was getting outstruck. I think Bresky's on the list after this card to probably get cut. To be honest, like it just he looks so out of place there. Carl Williams is slamming him against the cage. I think for Carl Williams, man, if he, like you said, if he works on his striking, if he trains with guys that help him hone his striking, hone in his moments of being able to use his cardio and his wrestling, I think you can have a very good fighter there. The problem is, by the end of the fight, his cardio was gone because he's just putting so much pressure and pressure and pressure. And the only person at heavyweight I've ever seen been able to exude pressure the whole fight was two guys, Stipe Miocic and Cain Velasquez, but especially Cain Velasquez. To have that ungodly type of cardio to do what he did, like, and shout out to him, he did control the fight, but he needs to hone it, man. He can't be doing that to just everybody because Bresky wasn't throwing anything. Carl Williams fights a guy like that knows how to out counter him or grapple with him, like a Curtis Blaze or whatever. He's getting murdered,
Yeah, I think and also it's a 3-round fight. You can have that fighting style at that type of conditioning at a 3-round fight, but a 5-round fight is very different. You can't fight. Not everybody can fight like Merab, So
right.
Going on to the main event or the main card, we had Vitor Petrino, a guy who interested me after this fight. I think he's a good contender, beating Anton Turkalj. I like this fight. It was a good fight. Vitor showing his dominance. He's throwing a lot of heavy shots. I think if he throws like a couple more like smaller shots just to get into space and then throw a big overhand, that would benefit him a lot. But Turkalj had his back a couple times in this fight, and he just spun out of it. He's a strong guy, so
Yeah.
grappling's not trash either.
No, Petrino looked very good on the sweeps when he was getting Turkalj off his back. I think the problem with Petrino is what you were saying with his striking is he loaded up on every single shot, which makes for an exciting fight, but it also exposes you to probably getting knocked out. And I think, listen, there's power behind Petrino. It's just you have to set it up. You can't just go in there swinging, every shot trying to end the fight. Even Derek Lewis doesn't do that.
Yeah.
You got to set up your shots. You can't telegraph everything where the guy knows that everything you're throwing is to knock him out. And Anton Turkalj coming off of getting murdered by Jalton Almeida his last fight. No, this was a decent showing for him. I'm not going to lie. It was a decent showing. Vitor Petrino, these are two really good prospects. I think this is a good fight for light heavyweight for the division. They need new prospects and new blood in there. It's just for Turkalj, man, this is just unfortunate. He's fought now two of the best prospects at the upper weight divisions of the UFC, so it's like not really much you can knock him on. He made an interesting fight. Yeah, it was 30-27s and 130. The 30-26 is what surprises me. I don't know who scored a 10-8 round in that one, but like I said, drug test the judges too. Refs, judges, fighters, drug test commentators, drug test everybody.
Drug test Dana. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, Dana's definitely on TRT and God knows what. But Vitor Petrino, man, I mean, he looked very good. 25 years old, man. Perfect age for him to kind of start getting on this course. I think you could definitely start feeding him some of the lower ranked guys or guys right on the fringe for sure after this fight.
Like a Dominic Reyes or something like that.
Yes, which if he fights Dominic Reyes, I think that might be the retirement fight of Dominic Reyes. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Then we had Mario Batista making it look easy against Guido Canetti with the submission win in the first round in the first 2 minutes, and then he calls out Cody Garbrandt after the fight. I think that would be a good fight to make. I think he beats Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
Guido Canetti's an older guy. I think it's time for him to chalk it up.
Bro, Guido Canetti was in the UFC. He's 10-8 now after this fight. Man's 43 years old. How? Meanwhile, Said Yakub Kakramanov got released after going 2-1 in the UFC and losing to Said Nurmagomedov on a lucky guillotine. So, yeah, Hunter Campbell, Dana, they're definitely more focused on power slap with these decisions. But anyway, Bautista fought a good fight. It was a very nice rear naked choke. Got on his back, got taken off his back, and then readjusted for the choke. Really good finish. He looks strong in there, too. I think a fight against Cody is perfect for both guys. I think Cody definitely needs a prove it fight. And I think for Mario Bautista to be able to get a name like Cody Garbrandt on his record, be perfect for him as well. And Guido Canetti, like I said, man, grab the bomba, fill it with some mate, go sit in Argentina, wherever you're living at over there, bro, and just retire. Just live your best life. It's time. Yeah, bro, like he had his moments, but yeah, no, he's done.
And then we had Jonathan Martinez getting the upset win over Said Nurmagomedov, which I think I had Said winning 2-1, but I had him winning round 1 and I think round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I had him winning all 3 rounds of my scorecard.
I had rounds 1 and 3 for Said. Round 2 was very close, very very close. I gave it to Martinez, but it could have gone either way. Yeah, drug test the judges again. Like to make it a unanimous decision, not even a split, was pretty bad in my mind.
That's gonna be our first shirt, bro. Drug test the judges.
Drug test the judges, bro. I mean, honestly, if USADA sells merchandise on their website, I'm probably gonna start wearing USADA merchandise, bro. Because like this fight, so Said Nurmagomedov fought a really good fight, and Jonathan Martinez did do in his own right. They fought really good fights. I think what killed Said Nurmagomedov is when he kept attacking submissions when he wasn't in the position to finish them. He's being very impatient and trying to get. You can't finish a rear naked choke on a guy's left hip. You just can't do it. It looks tight. It looks on TV like he's going to tap. A guy's not going to tap if they know what they're doing. And I think that's what killed him in the judges' eyes was the fact that, yes, you're getting these dominant positions, but how did Jonathan Martinez have more control time than you when you have more takedowns? And it's because he was compromising himself by going for these submissions, by going for these positions that weren't there. And I think it ruined his fight because Said Nurmagomedov was winning on the feet. He was outstriking him. He was landing the harder shots. It's just he had the grappling advantage and gave the grappling realm to Jonathan Martinez too. So yeah,
I just think he got a little too complacent when they were on the cage too.
Yeah.
He wasn't deciding whether he wanted to go for a takedown or if he wanted to get out and strike. And then also all them spinning attacks he throws as well. They might not hurt him against Jonathan Martinez, but I think they might hurt him against other bantamweights who are wrestle heavy. So I mean, I like his spinning back fist though. I like how he throws his spinning back fist because he kind of spins out the way. He doesn't go right into the. I don't know. He does it kind of different. He throws it in a certain kind of flow. I like it, but the spinning back kicks and all the question mark kicks, they're nice to pull out sometimes, but he kind of pulls them out. Every strike he throws is kind of flashy,
Yeah.
He needs to throw a little bit more basic.
It's the same thing we were saying with Vitor Petrino. It's like Said's got to set up his stuff more, man. He's so aggressive that he doesn't set up his strikes. He doesn't set up his takedowns. So what happens is he ends up cage fighting or he ends up missing badly on a spinning attack or something like that. And Jonathan Martinez, his credit, was very composed in the fight. Wasn't getting reckless, never overextending, just kind of doing what he had to do. Staying in the fight, hitting his strikes, waiting for his shots. And in the submissions, he was finding a way out of some very nasty chokes. Yeah, listen, so you could say it's a robbery, but it's not egregious enough where I'm going to go like MMA Twitter is right now and, absolutely go with the judges. I mean, listen, it could have gone either way, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think the judges should have given it 2-1 to Nurmagomedov, but I can see why they scored it for Martinez.
Yeah, I think both fighters' stock. I don't think any fighter's stock goes down. I think they both benefited from this fight. So, then we got Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. Nikita Krylov getting the round 1 submission. Ryan Spann, he looked kind of surprised that Krylov came at his neck right off the rip. And Krylov was looked like he was trying to strike with him, and then he just took him down. So Krylov showing that he's not scared of no power. He's not scared of that Superman symbol on nobody's chest.
Ryan Spann getting choked tonight, or last night, made my week. And my week just started today. It made my week. I'm sorry, bro. Ryan Spann has so much talent, so much power. And every time he just chases a finish from the first bell, which, all right, cool, bro. But then you got Nikita Krylov, who looked so composed, was striking well with him, was taking him down. And meanwhile, Ryan Spann didn't know what to do, so he's trying to finish a like Darce guillotine hybrid with no legs around his guy. Like, you're not Charles Oliveira, bro. You're not finishing a guillotine with a club grip. You're not doing that. And so for then the Krylov to stay composed on the ground and then get the triangle, get it quick, because Spann taps super quick. It's what I said, man. Ryan Spann, if he doesn't get a finish, if he doesn't get his way to start a fight, he gets frustrated and he starts doing stupid stuff. So shout out to Nikita Krylov, man. He fought a really good fight, stayed very composed. And definitely the way he blanked out Ryan Spann is definitely impressive, for sure. But I think for Ryan Spann, this needs to kind of be a wake-up call, because it kind of reminds me of the Anthony Smith fight, where he wasn't getting his way, and then he let Anthony Smith finish him. It's kind of the same thing. Nikita Krylov, he's shocked, he gets frustrated, Krylov finishes him. So
Yeah. Then we had aggressive Alexander Volkov, getting the TKO finish over Alexander Romanov. Romanov, a known grappler, wrestler, seemed like he was shooting for the legs right away, but Volkov hurt him with something to the body, and then ends up getting on top and ends up finishing him on the ground.
Mm-hmm. No, I always have said Volkov's tall for no reason. I take that back after last night. He finally looked aggressive. He finally was using his size and his strength. Put a beating on Romanov. I don't think Romanov's going to be the same fighter after last night, to be honest with you. Because, dude, he went for one takedown, and that was it. He got a life-changing beating. I think for Volkov, he needed a fight like this. He needed to show that he can, at heavyweight, put people out, and be aggressive. And so I love it. I think for Volkov, this is good. I don't know why this was a co-main event, to be honest with you, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I would prefer the Krylov Spann fight's not that great either, but I think that should have been the co-main.
Yep.
Or the Saeed fight should have been the co-main, really, really.
Yeah.
And then, the main event, you have Peter Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili. Merab winning all 5 rounds, not even letting it get close in any moment or any time. So, showing that he's a dominant, he's got the best cardio in the UFC.
I agree. I think if this fight goes 10 rounds, even Petr Yan doesn't win a single one. He doesn't. Bro, Merab, they call him the machine, and, he's gotten so much better. I remember the Marlon Moraes fight where he got cracked and he almost got finished, but he's gotten so much better in his striking now that, no matter what Petr Yan did, he wasn't really touching Merab. He tried to hit him with leg kicks, which seemed to work, and then Merab started kicking his legs out, and Petr had to switch stances because his leg got compromised. He blew his eye up and broke his orbital bone. He kept taking him down. He had the most takedown attempts, but even when he got stuffed on takedowns, he would just lay on him and put pressure on him the whole time. He looked quicker on the feet. His hands looked quicker. His footwork looked better. Merab Dvalishvili, Dana came out and said that if Merab doesn't want a title fight because he doesn't want to fight Aljo, it's not going to end well for him, which is true. But I think Merab has to take a title shot. I know he doesn't want to fight Aljo. I'm not saying fighting his teammate, but either fighting Sean O'Malley or Cejudo, he has to do it, dude. This guy, he's probably better than Aljo, in my opinion. I think he's better than Aljamain Sterling. The only guy that's probably... Yeah, the only guy at bantamweight that right now is probably touching him is Cejudo. That's it. My opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Peter Yan, his fighting style is just a terrible matchup. That Muay Thai fighting style, and then high guard. Your hands are not in a good position to.
Cejudo was talking about that. Yeah, Cejudo was talking about that. How this for wrestlers is a green light to just take you down because you're fighting with your guard so high.
Yeah. So, Merab breaking the record for most takedown attempts. Peter Yan probably broke the record for most stoppages of takedowns, but, you still lose the fight. You still don't have I don't remember any moment in the back of my head that, where I'm like, okay, Peter Yan is in this fight. I think he just got torched the whole fight, even on the feet as well. So,
no, and
that's how that felt.
Merab set a record for most strikes attempted as well. The output was insane, and a lot of people look at it, it's like, oh, it doesn't seem efficient. Well, here's the thing: if you're exuding pressure and your cardio is not going down, it's efficient because you're just overwhelming your opponent. You know, because at the end of the day, Piotr Jan was just playing defense the whole fight. Even when he was like Piotr Jan shot a takedown on Merab. Merab let him take him down just so like as he's sprawling, he flips him over and sweeps him. Like that is a different level of confidence when it comes to grappling, to let a guy take you down just so you get a dominant position. That's how you know he was in control of the fight, you know.
And I think if you in between rounds when you hear him talking to his corner, he wasn't, breathing hard. He was talking to him normal, like,
He was standing up and jumping in the corner. Like that.
He was getting excited. Like he started laughing like when the ref was like, "You're up. All you gotta do is survive this 5 minutes." He was like, "Really?" And he seemed like, he was excited. So, I like Merab. He seems like a pure soul, so I fuck with him.
Yeah, man, I love it. And then Umar Nurmagomedov called him out today. I would love that fight.
Yeah, that's the only guy. I mean, that's the only guy I think could. Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
That's fight of
the
your
winner of
contender.
Cheeto versus Corey.
Yeah, that's fight of your contender.
Or give him the winner of Cheeto versus Corey.
Yeah, Cheeto
Yeah,
versus
but I think
Corey.
Umar has to get like a couple more fights.
No, I agree, and I think Cheeto versus Corey. The winner of that fighting Merab. Let Sean O'Malley fight the winner of Cejudo and Aljamain. Either way, man, the bantamweight. We were talking about this. We said this a few episodes now. Best division in the UFC. 100%.
Best division in the world.
Yep. I agree.
Stacked. And then we have we got the upcoming UFC 286 card I've been waiting for personally in the O2 Arena. We got the rematch, the trilogy, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. And then we have Gaethje versus Fiziev in the co-main. Going down, let's go start at the early prelims here. Juliana Miller, coming off the win off TUF, winning TUF. She's one of the girls I think is actually going to make some waves in the flyweight division.
Yeah, and they're giving her the sacrificial lamb in Juliana Miller trains at 10th Planet. Ooh, I love that. That's it, bro. If she gets on the ground, I want to see her doing some of that Eddie Bravo jiu-jitsu, man. I love that. Yeah, they gave her the sacrificial lamb of Veronica Macedo Hardy, Dan Hardy's wife, coming back after being retired for 3 years with concussion issues. I don't think it's going to make a difference, to be honest with you.
Then we have Klein versus Jay Herbert. I like Klein. Klein's one of the Slovakian fighters that I like. I think he's a tough guy in lightweight. But Jay Herbert actually, he's not trash himself. 6'1" at lightweight. So some problems there. 77 inch reach. So
and he did crack Ilia Topuria. Before he got killed by Ilia Topuria, he did crack him. Fighting in England, hometown favorite, very tall, lanky guy. I think Jay Herbert, he's not a bad fighter. It's just we haven't seen him really be tested in the grappling. We haven't really seen him put it all together. He's coming in as a 140 favorite. Definitely an interesting pick if you're looking for underdogs to bet on the card. But I think Klein is just the better fighter. It's gonna be a good fight. I think this is gonna be a really good fight. Then the next fight you got Joanne Wood against Luana Carolina. Dread. Luana Carolina coming in at a 150 underdog. That might be an interesting.
She looks like those when you push that Play-Doh through the holes, and that's what her hair looks like.
Oh my gosh! Not Play-Doh spaghetti, man. Oh, nah, she's coming in as a 150 underdog. I think it's an interesting pick if you're looking for underdogs on this card. Nothing at Joanne Wood. I just think Carolina's underrated fighter coming into this.
Then we got Jake Hadley getting seems like he's getting fed Malcolm Gordon out of Canada. I don't know nothing about Malcolm Gordon, so
Malcolm Gordon.
But I know Jake Hadley's a good.
Think of Odie Osborne when you think of Malcolm Gordon. It's the same thing. Okay. Yeah, and I think for Jake Hadley, they're feeding him Malcolm Gordon in front of the English crowd. Coming as a minus 380 favorite, one of the bigger favorites on the card. I think this is going to be an easy fight for Jake Hadley. But then again, I've seen crazier things. So
then we got Christian Leroy Duncan versus Dusko. How do you say this guy?
Dusko Todorovic.
Todorovic. I don't know. I don't know nothing about this fight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really
So
sure.
Christian Duncan, prospect coming in. Obviously, it's English. Big reason why they're bringing him in. He was a Cage Warriors champion, actually. So the guy is 27 years old. He looks good, man. I think this is an interesting fight. That's why the odds are so close. Todorovic only a 160 underdog. Todorovic, of course, everybody remembers him from getting knocked out by Jokani last year in May. But he did beat Jordan Wright his last fight. And Todorovic isn't a he's big, he's athletic, he's strong. He just for some reason seems like safe when he fights. And I think that could be his downfall. You got to fight a guy in Christian Duncan fighting in front of his home crowd. He's going to go out there swinging, trying to make an impression, you know? So, yeah, interesting fight.
Then we got Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. I think Lerone Murphy wins this fight. I don't see the odds. Do you have the odds for this one?
Yeah, so the odds, I don't really see much in the odds. All I see is that Murphy's favored right now, but Gabriel Santos is an LFA champion coming in straight out of LFA. Lerone Murphy is on, I think it's a 4 or 5 fight win streak in the UFC. 4 fight win streak in the UFC. He looks good, man. 31 years old, fighting out of England. Again, I think this right here has potential to be one of the fights of the night at featherweight on the card. I think both these guys coming in undefeated. One of them fighting in front of his home crowd, and the other one coming in. Yeah, this guy, and then listen, one's 26, one's 31, both coming in with something to prove. I love this fight. I think this is definitely got potential. And then the next fight, the biggest odd difference on the card, a minus 800 favorite, Muhammad Makaya versus Dvalishvili.
I think rightly so. I think Muhammad Makaya is he's a guy he could probably fight some of the top 10, top 5 guys in flyweight. So they gave him an unranked fighter, so he's about to destroy this guy.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Makaya's only 22, man. That's insane how young he is. Dude, if he wins this fight, give him like a Kai Kara France or something like that. I want to see him fight some of the top guys at flyweight. I think Makayev is
I want him to beat John Jones' record, man. I want him to be the youngest.
Yeah, and I think Makayev, if there's anyone that can do it right now, it definitely is. I know the Raul Rosas fanboys will get at me about this, but it's Muhammad Makayev is probably the guy that's going to do it. I'm sorry. Listen, nothing against Raul Rosas, but Muhammad Makayev, man, just looks like the real deal in every aspect of his game. He looks so complete. A division like flyweight that's so thin, and he's 5'7". So this guy realistically could fight a bantamweight as well at some point. So like he's big, he's lengthy, he's very well versed in his grappling. He's very credentialed in his grappling actually for 22 years old outside of the UFC, and his striking has looked very good so far. I love this fight.
Then you got Sam Patterson versus Yanal Ashmouz or Ashmouz. How do you say his name? He's brilliant.
Yanal Ashmouz.
Ashmouz. Patterson with the 7-inch forehead.
Yeah. Do you see the size difference in this fight?
Yeah.
Brother, Sam Patterson coming in, he's basically Jalen Turner. The way he's built, that's insane. He makes lightweight. Ashmouz is a very good prospect, though, man. But I don't know. That height difference is nuts to me. Yanal Ashmouz is actually coming in from PFL. He just won his last fight in PFL. So interesting that the UFC got him over. But Sam Patterson, man, again, fighting in England, 26 years old, nicknamed The Future, so no pressure there. The guy has won his last 4 out of 5 fights by finish, including a submission win on the Dana White Contender Series. I love this. Again, so far so good. This card looks very, very stacked, man. I love it.
Then, we're gonna skip ahead here. We're gonna skip ahead here to the main card. We got Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze.
Wait. Before we do that, Jack Shore is fighting.
Oh yeah, Jack Shore.
Jack Shore is fighting. Like this fight, the whole prelim is all top prospects, but the big one is Muhammad Mokaev and Jack Shore, man. Jack Shore fighting
Yeah.
Amar Khani, man. Minus 500 favorite. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think the guy he's fighting. I don't think it's gonna be a rollover either. The guy has some skills. I think Jack Shore's better, but um, I don't know how to say that guy's name, so I'm not even gonna try to say
Oh,
his name.
Makwan Amar Khani.
Yeah,
He people remember him by getting knocked out by Edson Barbosa. But yeah, main card we were about to say was Martin Vittoria and Roman Dolidze.
this fight's 50-50 to me. I think if I had to put my life on it, I'd give it to Marvin Vettori just because he has more. He trains. Wait, doesn't Delite train out the same gym as him?
No, because Vittori. So Dolidze's at Extreme Couture. I thought Vittori. Did Vittori go to Extreme? Yeah, Vittori. Yeah, same gym.
Yeah.
Oh, Vittori left King's MMA. That's interesting. I did not know
I just
that.
realized that they fight out the same gym.
That is, that's wild. They allowed them to book this.
I mean, Buckley and Chris Curtis fight out the same gym, and
Now
they
they
fought.
do. Yeah, now they do. They didn't when they fought though. That's wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's well,
Yeah,
but
they was like, hey, we're all going to the
Also
same gym to fight.
Dolce also does some training at AKA as well. So
Yeah, he might just go over there for this camp.
either way, man. I mean, you look at Dolce has ADCC credentials in grappling. 3 performance of the nights against Dawkins, Phil Haas, and Jack Hermanson. That Jack Hermanson fight, that knee bar calf slicer was beautiful. I think Martin Vittori has to prove something this fight. Has to. He does not look good. Even the Paulo Costa fight, where Paulo Costa came in overweight, I can't give him credit for that, man. Vittori's just been a lot of talk of how good he is, but never really put it all together. So, I mean, we'll see, man. Then you got a guy in Dolce who used to fight at light heavyweight, coming down to middleweight. I like Dolce a lot. I think for the odds being what they're at, because right now Dolce is a plus 240 underdog. That's a good fight to throw money at if you're looking for underdogs to throw money at this fight, this card. Yeah, plus 240 definitely can make you some good money there.
And then we have Jennifer Maya versus Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill, another one of my baby mamas, the one that I have in Australia. Casey O'Neill, fucking demon in flyweight. I think this is a good showing for her to put it all together and to get a dominant win over somebody who's not going to be a rollover. So
yeah, and I think for her coming off a split decision against Roxanne Modafferi, that she needs to show. And Jennifer Maya is no pushover. Jennifer Maya's got hands, man. And she's lost 3 out of her last 5, but she lost it to Fioro, Chikagian, and Shevchenko. So it's not like she was losing to horrible fighters either. So I think this is a really good fight for Casey O'Neill, kind of a move up in competition for her. And if Casey O'Neill can put off a dominant win in this fight, you kind of talked about her being in title contention,
Yeah. And then we got Gunnar Nelson and Brian Barberena. You being a heavy favorite of Gunnar Nelson here, but I think Brian Barberena could get it done.
If it gets to the ground, Gunnar Nelson murders Brian Barberena. I'm gonna be honest with you, because Gunnar Nelson's a terrific grappler, very good on the feet. Training partner with Connor. Gunnar Nelson, I think, he's been one of those guys. Kind of reminds me of like a Derek Brunson, just kind of like a gatekeeper of the division. But I think Brian Barberena, I don't want to say he's a bad fighter, but he's just wild, man. And I think a guy like Gunnar Nelson, who's disciplined the way he fights, kind of exposes that every time. So I think the odds being at minus 400 Gunnar Nelson, definitely on track for me, in my opinion. I think this fight definitely goes Gunnar Nelson's way. But don't be shocked if Barberena knocks him out either, And
then we got the co-main event. This is probably going to be the fight of the night, most likely.
I agree.
Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. To me, in my opinion, I only see Justin Gaethje winning by decision because it's 3 rounds. But I can see Fiziev winning by decision. I can see Fiziev winning by like a head kick knockout or like a spinning back fist knockout. So if I had to put money on it, I think I'm going with Fiziev here.
Mm-hmm. And Fiziev is. It amazes me why Justin Gaethje doesn't wrestle. I don't understand why he doesn't wrestle. I really don't. Because he's going to have to this fight. Yes, Fiziev's really good on the feet, but Fiziev's going to also pressure him in every aspect of the game. And I think, Gaethje has to kind of fight a fight like he did against Tony Ferguson to be able to win this fight. Be able to make a grappler uncomfortable, make sure he fights in the pocket. But Fiziev fights like a bulldog, bro. Like he just eats every shot. He's still in there fighting in the pocket. Very good grappler as well. I think I think minus 230 favor is definitely understandable for Rafael Fiziev. But I think if Gaethje loses this fight, a lot of pressure because if Gaethje loses, you can't put him in a title contention picture at lightweight for a very long time with how stacked that division is,
Yeah, and then you got the trilogy. Leon Edwards defended his title from the dude he head kick knocked out in round 5 in a fight he was losing against Kamaru Usman.
Mm-hmm.
In the O2 Arena, you got Leon Edwards fighting out of his own backyard now. So I think Kamaru gets it done though. I think I think he comes out with a more wrestle heavy fight style. I don't think he stands with him as much. So
yeah, I think mine plus 200 underdog. I'm probably gonna put money on Leon this fight because to me, all the pressure is on Kamaru Usman. You're the one that got knocked out. You're the one that needs to win this fight, or else you won't have a title shot for a long time. You're the one that has to beat the champ to be the champ. You can't just coast. And I don't see Kamaru finishing Leon Edwards, but I also don't see him dominating him in wrestling like he did many other opponents. I think Leon Edwards, one, he knows that he can survive on the ground with Kamaru. That's the last fight, but now he also knows that he's in Kamaru's head in the sense of like, hey, I'm the one that knocked you out. We can trade shots, but I'll always be the one. Like it reminds me of Pereira and Adesanya, where yes, Adesanya was landing his shots, but there's something there, that factor of you fighting a guy that knocked you out before, where it gets to you. It gets to you at some point. And listen, Kamaru, this is a chance for him to prove me wrong. I think Kamaru Usman is I think the second best welterweight champion of all time, versus Leon, who if he wins this fight, definitely has to go top 5 in the top 5 in the welterweight champions of all time. And so it's going to be a great fight. I think Leon's going to come out more aggressive this fight, definitely rely more on his kicks and distance management. And I think for Kamaru, this is it. He's had bad knees this long time in his career. He just come off getting knocked out cold. This is going to be the true test of a champion as to how is he going to react to dealing with all that adversity.
yeah, I agree. So you got Leon, I got Kamaru Usman. So that's gonna do it for Glove Talk episode 6. The rerun.
Yes, sir.
Back, but we still got it in. It should be uploaded later tonight. Clips coming out all week on the Glove Talk, the Glove Talk podcast on IG. We got clips rolling. Get them views up. Hit the follow button. Hit the subscribe button.
We'll have the fight breakdowns this week. I'm probably going to do Rafael Fiziev, Gaethje, Usman Edwards, and then I'll pick one out of the main card. But if you guys want any fights broken down, that third fight to break down, let me know. Send us in the comments, message us, man. This is what we love doing, breaking this down for you guys. Thank you guys for all the follows. We're now 5K followers. Y'all gave us 4,000 follows in a week. Thank you so much for the love and support. We appreciate you guys. And this is what we do it. The greatest sport in the world. We sit here and talk about it, and you guys enjoy what we bring. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Hey, cut Bretsky. Drug test the judges, drug test the refs, drug test the fighters, man. I'm done with this. I'm done with these scorecards. I'm done with Herb Dean talking about fingers. I'm done with Rafael Sunsal being out cold. Be like, you okay? You okay? No. Drug test the refs. Sorry. Y'all have a good one.
Second that.